And we're right back. So, yeah, like I was saying, I mean, it just proves that I'm really, really good at my job. I'm really, really good at what I do. You feel me? Like I said, Batman has defeated the entire Bavarian Freemasons. I've exposed this network pretty much all over your country and all over your world. Like I said, I mean, at this point, I kind of feel like it's just my job to get all the Freemasons shut down completely. Like that's the thing these people don't understand. Y'all are worried about your little wage slave job and your jokey, real, normal, fit in with society, corny, pretending energy, and you want to have an opinion on me. How? Y'all need to get real with yourself, brother. Batman is the real deal, bro, and I've already shut down a lot of these legal organizations and companies, right? And it's just crazy because like it's one after the other after the other. You understand? Like I said, I mean, I'm going to continue to present the proof and the truth that every claim I ever made is a fact, that everything I'm speaking is facts, right? And at the end of the day, I just believe that, sometimes things happen for a reason, man. I think that God put me in these positions for a reason. And that's why I don't have time for anything that's extracurricular. I'm busy working and doing my job. You know what I mean? So, like I said, if the Freemasons had anything to say to me, I mean, you've had plenty of time to say it. So far, you haven't said anything. Not one tangible statement has been issued. Nothing. I just continue to defeat you and run circles around you. And I defeated the entire Illuminati, not only in the street in reality, not only getting y'all's illegal organization shut down single handedly, but also financially. hmm Outdid all of y'all financially. And like I said, I'm here to protect all of these people, and I am here to protect the youth. You understand? Because like I was literally looking at a preview for this documentary about the Bavarian Freemasons, which is the Bavarian Illuminati. Like I said, it never infiltrated Freemasonry. It was Freemasonry the whole time. That's what Illuminati is. It's the Masons. They have a lodge all over. They got Scientology conventions out in Florida. We were in front of one when I was younger, and I didn't understand what was going on, but I knew I was there for a reason. And I think God wanted me to see what was happening. I can't remember. I don't know if that was this time I was struggling too, that I was like living in my truck or something. But I just remember going, and I think I like walked right in there. I think I got in or something, or maybe I was in high school and I was invited. I don't know. It was a whole thing, but I just remember going, and I remember like people questioning them, probably people like me at the time, but I didn't understand what I know now back then. And it was a whole thing, man. And it's just crazy the scenery that they were holding this convention, and it was a whole Scientology convention, like what they say Tom Cruise is, which we know he is. He's just a Mason. He's nothing special. They want to sit there and talk about, oh, the knowledge and blah blah. There's no knowledge. It has nothing to do with knowledge. They're going to cover it up and make it look like knowledge, but they're all just Satanists. Okay. And we all know what they do, and they're hiding behind all these corrupt departments, corrupt agencies, all the people who were meant to protect us, right? Are the Freemasons. Your society was actually set up and designed as a trap. And that's why these things have happened. You're in the devil's den. You understand? The thing is, when you get smart and you get someone like me to figure it out and then expose it publicly, it makes it a little more difficult. It makes it a lot more difficult. It makes it pretty much impossible because now they can't pull the wool over people's eyes. So that's why, like, my feeling on the valley, man, is just people don't want to wake up. People just want to stay sheep. You know what I mean? They want to stay, you know, in their own delusion because none of it exists. I mean, anyone from the valley, they could go with me up north and you would realize quickly it's a whole different atmosphere, and then they would be very uncomfortable because it's the real world that I come from. I don't come from down here. I don't care about anything down here. This is a bunch of sheltered individuals who don't know nothing about life. They have no life experience. I've been all over the US, like, you're not making sense. My father lived all over the world and shared with me pretty much like a lot of knowledge, probably everything he knew, right? Maybe not everything. I feel like he knew a lot that he didn't share with me, but he shared a lot with me. And, you know, this is what it is. At the end of the day, like I said, I keep on exposing them. I'll expose them and you count them, right? I'm doing pretty good at my job here. Okay. As you can see, also, if you look at Exhibit B, you will see that Groovy Jimmy is definitely mad right now, as well as Rob Wack, right? For good reason. Okay. And I told you that, you need to learn how to speak to me. You didn't want to listen. Okay. No problem. You know, like I said, I tried to be nice. I tried to be nice. I tried to explain to you I'm a ruthless businessman, right? It is what it is. You understand? Y'all didn't want to listen? Okay, no problem. You know what I mean? We ain't got to do no talking over here. None. Because I know what we're doing over here. Here's a boat right here, but hold on. Could have sworn I just stepped on something. That didn't feel nice. So see right there, I muted because he's got his stuff playing loud as hell. Which I'm still trying to get away from it and avoid it. Hold on. And that's all I'm saying, man. I'll never understand it, man. I will never understand. I will never understand how, you know, how to explain it. I don't know. I just don't get how y'all's perception works. Like, you gotta understand, I am the money, man. Like I said, like all out here, I've always been the richest guy out here. I was richer than everybody out here. Everybody, by far. It wasn't even close for my entire life. How people feel about that is besides the point. I never fell off. Never. Like I said, last I was cooking, made great money, right? I learned different skills. I do different projects, and I'm 35, about to be 36. I'm retired. Like, it is what it is. But my whole point, see, now I know. Now I know that you can use a boat. I told you. Yeah, like he's got a boat right there, like a motor boat. I think you heard it, and it's pretty cool. You get to cruise all through there. It's awesome, and that's what I want to do with Christina because we can definitely afford any boat we want. I can get a better boat than that, and we can do whatever we want. Because again, Christina's negotiated for a guaranteed $6.8 million. That's what she said. Said potentially 30 to 50 million. I think it's going to be more than that. But I just hope she gets every dime she deserves. I just want her happy. Like I said, at this point, I've always had nothing but love for Christina, but at this point I just don't worry about any internet stuff, Like I forgive everybody and I'm just gonna move forward. But yeah, people wanted to get on this network. They wanted to run their mouth. They wanted to test my power and authority. Okay, no problem. It takes two to tango. I had a song, it was an awesome song called Two to Tango. It takes two to tango, so two can play this game, brother. So now they're starting to feel the effects, of what's going on. And like I said, you got to talk to me with respect. And that Rob Wack, he was mad as hell. He was mad as hell. He made more illegal statements, and he just doesn't seem to get the point. Like you really don't get it. Like I'm gonna start filming and recording when you do that too. You understand? That way I have it documented evidence on camera. It's just kind of a hard thing for me to do because I'll have to use another phone to record it on this one, right? Because of what they did, like the church group with my laptop. Like I said, you see all the facts are out there, all the truth. all that, specifically about every matter concerning everything I've talked about. I was right about everything. Um, like I said, all their lines are not working, all their lines are down somehow. That means something. I don't know if I did get them shut down. I mean, like I said, the truth is Geneva looked super nervous when I was in there. Like, what would you have to be nervous about unless you know what you're doing is wrong? That's what I'm saying. Like, these people are in front of us doing tons of illegal activity. What exactly? I don't know. I'm sure that it's more than the panhandling that they do. And it sucks for me because, like, it's supposed to be a resource that you can go to, and a safe haven is how they want to describe it. And, like, right now, it would have helped to be able to go over there. It would have helped me a lot. But like I said, I mean, I can't be filing a federal lawsuit and then, like creating a federal indictment and then, keep on being around these people. I mean, it's just not going to work common sense because, well, they're the ones who are, doing all this illegal activity, breaking the law. And I'm just a civilian that's a citizen, even though I'm not, I'm a gangster, but I'm a citizen that's calling them out for what they're doing, so it wouldn't make much sense for me to be around them and doing whatever. Like I said, I mean, the service in itself is cool if they would do it right. But like I said, it explains it all right there about the quotas, about how they're known for panhandling, and some of them knew because I remember them talking about that, and I didn't know what they were talking about. Nobody informed me or told me how it was going to go or anything about what it was or how it worked. And like I said, they left me stranded in Kentucky. So with that being said, um, what it says there is specifically word for word 100% correct, right? So it says it right there. And they actually left me out there. And then they were still coming to the same shelter that I had to go to. I had to walk all the way from Keeneland from the racetrack that uses forced slave labor. And I had to walk from there all the way to Lexington. That's a fact. Hold on. So, end of the day, that was kind of funny. I don't know who that is or what, but they were all like, and then like as soon as they saw me, it was like complete silence. I think they waved, but yeah, it was kind of funny. But yeah, like I don't know. I don't really care at this point. You get different reactions from people no matter who you are, where you at. I don't know who's who. I don't know who knows a little bit about who I am. Nobody really knows me. I don't let people in like that. People don't take the time to get to know me, and that's my whole thing. Like I'm a human being, but you know, my dad was the same way. He was real to himself and stuff, and now I kind of understand why. I don't think it was really just his choice. I think it was just the way he was always done. Which is kind of sad. My dad would like go to parks and just lay down on a bench. He'd get a newspaper and he'd just read the paper. My dad was like real old school, real chill. He'd listen to all them old tapes and actual tapes, tape decks. They didn't have CD players in his time, and he would still use the tapes. It was crazy. He'd listen to Spade Cooley, Tex Ritter, all that old stuff. I think even Jackie Wilson and stuff. My dad had great taste in music, and that's why I became very talented in music. But I do it for fun, even though I'm the only artist in the world that ever went worldwide independently. I accomplished a lot with it, but I mean, I did with everything: tennis, baseball, basketball, everything I did. I was the top dog in, my whole life, and I competed on a national, pretty much worldwide level, But that's what I realized is, hey, I'm the asset, regardless of what folks want to say, what they want to tell themselves, and that's the thing. The devil don't come for no palaces that don't have gold in them. You understand? I got something holy within me, and I got something very special about me, and I can transform. That's why I'm Batman, and it's a very serious thing. If you notice, it's just like the movie. I'm just a normal guy when I want to be, and then I transform into Batman, and it's 100% real and legit. And you got a super soldier enforcer And it's a very powerful thing, because I used to talk about this a long time ago, how, a guy like me in the hood, people overlook me. They just look at me like, oh, it's just a white guy, it's a white boy, whatever. And I always used that to my advantage. And I was a chameleon. That was what people didn't understand. I was always the boss in all the ghettos and hoods, because people overlooked me. You know what I'm saying? People underestimated me, and they didn't get the kind of mind that I had, and I was a genius and what I had developed, and that I was a street tough gangster. So it just, man, this is just gorgeous right now. That's beautiful. That image belongs in a magazine. That's the one thing we got, is beauty out here. It is beautiful. Wow. Huh. It's crazy. But like I said, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, everybody's getting exposed right and left. Like I said, what I'm stating here is all facts. It's all things that I tangibly did. I have pretty much receipts and documentation for everything. I mean, you can't really have documentation for things that are done like this. It's a little different. I mean, I put Empower Network out of business. Like I said, this other, whatever you want to call it, church group, they got exposed completely. Here we go. We're gonna rain right when I'm doing my show. All right. Well, I guess that's it, man, because I ain't gonna ruin my phone. Feel me? So I guess I'll talk to y'all later, unless it's gonna simmer down real quick, but I doubt it. Let me see. But yeah, man, the point is, I won. I defeated everybody by myself. That's all. And I'm gonna keep winning. Man, the rain smells good. It's good smelling rain. Yeah, it's gonna start pouring. Yep. All right. I'll talk to you later.